Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I want to make this short, but I've got a couple things to say. Today, we're watching Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 2, Episode 9, Way Dooch. I think I have that right. If not, I'll get it right afterwards. My friends, we're at the end of the season. Last season, I wasn't ready. I watched Veritas, thought it was great. Walked into episode 9, Crisis Point, Haymaker. Walked into episode 10, Knockout Blow. I'm trying to be more prepared. I want the same emotional impact, friends, but I'm trying to be more prepared. I'm trying to be a better student of Lower Decks this season. And so going into these final episodes, I decided I'm going to put myself out on the gangplank here. I'm going to, absolutely put it all on the line, push my chips in, and make some predictions that I don't really necessarily believe are going to happen, but are things that have just been floating in my mind. The Packlids are a distraction. I'm convinced of it. I think someone is behind manipulating them, or at the very least, taking advantage of the chaos that they're creating. I can't get away from it. That's the strongest feeling I have, that the Packlids are behind some or fronting something else. Character specific. Tendi, we got a lot of backstory. I still think we got some more Winter Constellation stuff to see. I don't know if we see that at the end of this episode or season. Rutherford, memory implant. My thing with that is, has he forgotten feelings for Tendi that we haven't seen? Or, something terrible has been forgotten on an emotional side. I'm very curious about that. Very curious. That's not a very strong one, but that's one that I sort of want to see. Beckett. We all know what Beckett is. I've been talking about it since the beginning of season 1. There's some type of trauma that's holding her back from advancement and making her distaste authority. I want to know that very, very much. I'm not sure if we get that at the end of this season, but maybe some hints towards it. And finally, and this is the one that I'm pretty sure I'm super duper wrong about, my friends, but I try to insulate myself. I don't know anything that happens at the end of this season, season 3, season 4, nothing. I want to be as surprised and as shocked and as emotionally invested as I can be in the moment that I watch these things. With Brad, I can't get away from the fact that he seems too changed. This season, he's had too much growth. I hope I'm wrong, friends. I want him to have actually had organic growth, but here's where I put myself out on the limb. I made this comment at the top of the season. How can we be sure who is who? Transporter clone and Brad, real Brad. Friends, I cannot get away from the idea or the thought that we don't have the real Bradward Boimler on the Cerritos. I am sure that I am wrong about this. I can't get it out of my head. I want you all to know what I'm thinking as I'm reacting to this stuff. So when you see me, some of these things get disproven, probably all of them, the reactions might mean a little bit more when you see me going, oh, I'm being disappointed or something like that. Not that I'm sure whatever they come up with will be much better, but that's where I stand, my friends. And that's that. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, my friend. You'll be alerted anytime we go live here on YouTube with any Star Trek or sci-fi related material. If you like that material and those adventures early, the link to our Patreon is in the description. We would love to have you. But all of that is then. And this, my friends, this is now. And what is this? This is Lower Decks, Season 2, Episode 9, Way Dooch. And for the second to last time this season, my friends, prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go. Ooh, no cold open. No cold open. Oh boy. What do they have in store for us? No cold open, no hints. Ooh, I'm a little scared because I got my full disclosure, everybody. If you've watched those last 2 episode reactions, I got my shit handed to me in episode 10, No Small Parts. I wasn't expecting it. The bad thing is, I think I'm expecting it now. I think like I'm emotionally ready that this show can go to those places. But man, I really hope I'm not. I really, really hope I'm not steeled for anything that they elect to bring out, reveal, do. I love these characters. If we lose somebody, I hate to say that it's tempered a bit by Shaxx coming back, but I don't think that they're going to keep doing that. I think that they're going to nuke us. But let's see, my friends. Here we go.
I've approved some much-needed R&R for the crew.
I can't believe we all have the day off. What should we do? Strategema tournament?
Oh, I can't. Dr. Ta'ana invited me to a thing on the holodeck.
Oh, okay. Rutherford?
Yeah, sorry. Bilbs has a new soup recipe he asked me to try out, and after that I promised Shaxx I'd throw some pottery with him.
Throw some pottery.
Guess it's just me and you.
Ugh, I'm with the captain today.
All you guys are spending warp with a bridge buddy?
It's not a big deal.
All right, Brad. You're on your own, bud.
Ugh, I wish I served on a ship that had built-in social structures, like with Binars or Klingons.
Have you ever been on a Klingon ship? I don't think you'd like it.
You are fucking kidding me.
Today will be a day of great honor for me.
Are you kidding?
Stationed at the captain's side, I will be the logical choice to be the new first officer.
Logical? Are you a Vulcan now? Maybe you should trim your bangs and join a science vessel.
Could you imagine serving with those dang knocks? Avoid death and cower.
Avoid death and cower. What is going... Are we going around to all the lower decks? Get the fuck out of my face.
No, I will be composing an arrangement for the loot, which should take several hours.
I am available for chess.
I am available for chess.
Talin, your assignment was to monitor tertiary impulse system.
It is logical to improve our scanning capabilities instead of observing non-essential systems. Something about this feels off.
Feels off?
I must inform the captain.
She has lost all control.
Okay, so I was not expecting this.
I need a loyal first officer. A soldier of the Empire who does not spit in the face of duty.
I will take care of it, Captain.
That must be exceptionally heavy. Throwing pottery around.
Ah, hey, Boimler.
There's Jen.
It's a neat pod, Lieutenant Shaxx. Did you learn how to do that back on Bajor? Oh, did we not talk about Bajor?
You think I have time for anything other than resisting? Fighting fascism is a full-time job!
Run, he's not kidding. My head's spinning.
Oh, I'm surprised some of your age knows of that glorious day.
Oh, it is one of my favorite slaughters. We could sing a song about it.
The blood wine barrel runs low.
Savage headbutt.
Why would you
I love
modify
Vulcan ships.
already adequate long-range sensors when that is outside of your duties?
I had a gut feeling that
Okay, is this a Romulan spy? Because these feelings and stuff.
to ignore it would be illogical.
Helm, adjust course to 577 Mark 6.
Ah, you luring them in there.
Talin, get a hold of yourself. These outbursts will not be tolerated.
These outbursts.
Nothing like clawing your way up the side of a giant hard piece of earth to feel alive.
Boimler, what are you doing up here?
I remember that from the movie.
Good thing safety protocols are on. They are on, right?
I don't know. Sure.
I don't know. I don't know what to think.
Cool. Then maybe I'll tell him to boost the environmental control to help with your hot flashes.
That's hilarious.
Oh, nothing.
Ransom.
Small galaxy, huh?
I can't believe there's another Hawaiian on board. We're hitting the beach this afternoon. Holodeck 3.
Ransom is Hawaiian. Nice. I'm saying that I didn't expect this is a dramatic understatement.
I demand assistance. Could someone just...
I'm concerned because I feel like I'm being set up. I do. I feel like I'm being fucking set up.
He ate that traitor's leg and will need to be shoveled around until it passes, or he will have gas.
Yes, sir.
I'm pulling for you, buddy. And if you're truly Vulcan and not a Romulan spy, then I'm pulling for you as well.
We are not Klingon.
Nor are we Borg drones. We do not have to blindly follow orders.
I like her, but she's not going to fit in.
You are not yourself, Talin. Everyone has noticed.
Then I hope they notice how unconcerned I am about their assessment.
Let's get Talin on the Cerritos. She'd make a hell of an addition.
I tried.
Oh, the Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, but what if Ransom finds out I lied? He could demote me to work at a penal colony where I'd have to mate with the enemy to form a new civilization.
The cage.
I don't know, Boimler. I think you should just come clean.
Yeah, I mean, what's really more important? Having a commander friend or being true to yourself?
Commander friend.
Aloha!
Hey, aloha!
You got it, Brad. Come on. It's a little white lie, right?
We've lost our way.
The Empire still strikes.
Are they all gonna come together? All 3 ships?
You are a true Klingon. You may be smaller and weaker and slower and smaller than my other officers. But
That's 2 smallers.
Captain, we're being hailed. Put it in my quarters. Private channel. Backlund!
Oh, hi. Are you ready to give us presents?
We will discuss our transaction in person. I'm beaming over with my new second in command.
You.
With the weapons and information I've armed them with, they've thrown the entire quadrant into discord.
You're behind them, though?
Cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war!
Little Shakespeare. Klingons love that.
You always pick the chef.
Yeah, because we have replicators. Why is there a chef? That's just shady.
We picked up an anomalous energy reading nearby. Should we drop out of warp and investigate?
Yes, please.
This is the same reading that the Vulcans picked up? Talin picked up?
I had a good time today.
Oh.
I know. I did too.
There you go. You guys are doing well. The size of those Packlet ships.
Captain, a Veruvian explosion would emit Metreon particles.
They said they were going to sneak one on Earth. Oh, here we go.
Communication! We have to take out that ship!
Oh, shit.
Hail the bird of prey.
No response, Captain.
Klingon ship, this is the Federation starship.
Doritos.
Captain, both vessels are powering weapons. What?
Shields up, shields up. You sons of bitchin' writers.
We're under attack!
Oh my god, they're getting hammered.
Shields holding at 80%.
Gotta get out of there.
Deck 6 is taking heavy damage. Sealing the area.
Damn it! We have to get to the bridge!
I'm not from Hawaii, and if I don't make it through this, I don't want to die a liar. Sir, I'm from Modesto, California.
Modesto, baby.
I'm not from Hawaii either.
Neither am I. None of us are. We just wanted to be friends with you, sir.
Wait, you guys didn't have to pretend to be something you aren't. I like you for you.
Oh, Jack.
Also, I'm not from Hawaii. We're all moon buddies?
You know, some people say Modesto is like the moon of San Francisco, so I guess I'm from a moon too.
If you were from a moon, you'd know how deeply insulting that is.
What?
Come on, guys. Let him in.
There is no honor in letting others fight our battles.
Do not talk to me of honor.
Fight him.
They will write songs of me this day.
Oh.
Red alarm.
Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me?
Evasive maneuvers.
Shields at 17%.
17.
Stronger.
Oh, wow, okay. Buy the Cerritos some time. She is hurting.
Primary shields are failing. Captain,
Oh
the
my
project
God.
I have been working on is a regenerative shield amplifier. I believe it may help.
It is logical to use it now, considering there are no alternatives.
Talin, you are exceptional at your job, but not really at being a Vulcan.
Implement the program.
No problems. I mean, you're at the end of the rope.
Does the High Council know of your actions?
The High Council lacks foresight. They will change their minds when the battle begins.
But that is like the you know, ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Target the Federation ship.
Belay that order.
Oh.
This is not our fight. This lunacy must end. Stop the attack. Finish them. No.
Come on, kid. Come on, kid.
Stupid talk.
How many knives does this guy have? You're captain, kid.
What are your orders, Captain?
Set a course for the homeworld. The Council can decide what to do with this bay knock.
Captain, the Klingon ship's retreating. Well then, let's give the Packlets a taste of their own mushroom.
You gonna take him out? I have no problem with it, but come on, don't let him get away.
Assess the damage. Let's begin repairs.
I like Talin. I'd like to see more of her.
Klingons typically want to die in battle. Honestly, I get it.
I get it.
Your inability to control your emotions is a liability. I am removing you from duty.
Whoa.
There is no place for that on this starship.
I will gather my personal items and
The Cerritos.
You will not be returning to Vulcan.
Curious.
I am recommending you for reassignment to a Starfleet vessel.
I do not believe this punishment is warranted.
And that is exactly the type of outburst which led to my decision.
Outburst.
Live long and prosper, sir.
So dismissive.
Excuse me? Ensign Boimler, sir?
Cadet.
Well, I've been having trouble keeping up with my duty schedule. Commander Ransom said that you're the most organized person on the ship.
He did?
Yeah, he says you're great and I should pick your brain. If that's okay.
I mean, yes.
Ransom Jack!
Real action begins on the lower decks.
Wow. Okay. What? Is that it? That's all we're gonna see? The different colored eyes. Woo! Friends, we just got done watching Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2, Episode 9, Way Douche, which they never pronounced, so I don't know if that's right or not. But my friends, the only thing we have left to do now is, of course, to talk about it. All right, my friends, we just got done watching Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2, Episode 9, Way Douche. Again, I think I have it. Okay, I was obviously not expecting this at all. Like, at all. I had no clue that we were going to do like a around the verse trip to the lower decks of all the different, several different civilizations or cultures. I thought it was neat to see, you know, especially kind of like the play on the Klingons. Here's the thing. I think this is what I would press with somebody that's kind of on the fence about watching Lower Decks. Do you have a lot of ha-has and hee-hees? Absolutely. This is a comedy show. However, you have a lot of really, really thought out, really, really thoughtful applications of the Star Trek lore. Now, again, everyone knows, I mean, I don't know if everybody knows, but you know, I'm certainly not anywhere near versed in the Star Trek universe as many of you are. But from my experience and from what I've seen, here's what I would say. You know, like especially the things that we saw on the Vulcan ship and on the Klingon ship, I thought they were very revelatory. You know, I don't think that they were being spoofy. I don't think that it wasn't a parody of what it would be like on a Vulcan ship. I love the idea of like the meditation chambers as opposed to like a holodeck or something like that. You know, and then on the Klingon ship, you know, everything's very Spartan and very, you know, militaristic and things like that. And I think they honored those things and were true to, you know, the established lore, at least as to my understanding of it. You know, the whole second in command doesn't like the way that the captain's performing, can challenge him to combat, take over the ship. I've seen that in many of the movies, you know, or any of the Klingon kind of experiences that I had in like Next Generation and things like that, which are very, very limited. But again, I think that was a very interesting kind of facet that you probably wouldn't expect from Lower Decks if you haven't watched it. But if you've watched Lower Decks, you know that they're going to go with the ha-has and hee-hees, but at the same time, they are fleshing out a universe. And again, I mentioned this before. This is a time period that you all have told me has not been explored. This time between like the end of the 90s shows, you know, Deep Space Nine and Voyager and Next Generation, and the beginning of like Picard. Like there's a huge several decade gap there that they're exploring here in Lower Decks. I love that because, you know, it's again, sort of uncharted territory. You know, I know that there are probably major like canonical events that they can't change, but there's so much that they can just kind of explore and not really have to worry about stepping on established canon or anything like that, which I really, really like. And, you know, the stuff with the Packlets, if this is the end of the Packlets, I will say this. Here's a criticism that I have. The Packlets were a big setup, a seasonal setup that began literally a full season ago with episode 10. So we went episode 10 through to episode 9 of season 2 which, you know, that's a huge setup for a show that only has 10 episode seasons and only 22 minutes per episode to show. Identifying the Packlids as a major problem and dragging them through the narrative for this far, not dragging them, they're making them part of the narrative for this far, that's a lot of investment. It's a ton of investment in a particular story. I'm not sure that almost a throwaway Klingon rogue bird of prey captain trying to destabilize a specific region was the payoff for that investment. I'm being honest. I think that they had an opportunity to, and maybe they still will. Maybe I'm working with less information, but it seems like they wrapped it up. And if they wrapped it up and that is the bow on the top of it, I think they could have. I will never say that they could do better because I've enjoyed the Packlid. I hate the Packlids, but I've enjoyed the Packlid storyline. Just making it kind of pay off in this, it seems anticlimactic, if that, I guess that's the best way to say it. But, you know, I mean, there's more to it than, you know, it doesn't have to be some grand, like I just made mention of the fact that this is a portion in the Star Trek lore, the Star Trek history timeline that we haven't explored. There's no reason that I wanted like the Packlids to be like some massive, like, you know, Borg incursionary event or something like that, or like, you know, a Dominion War or something like that. I certainly didn't mean something like that. In fact, I wanted it to be more kind of specific because a big like galaxy spanning problem like that would really limit the Cerritos' involvement in it because the Cerritos isn't a capital ship, you know. She'd be part of what would presumably be the entire Star Fleet as they showed up to take care of all this stuff. So I wanted it to be more specific to the region in which the Cerritos worked so it could be a big ass problem for them, you know? And I just don't think, again, I wanted more out of that because it was too easily wrapped up, if that's what it is. Now, again, this could be another red herring that I'm buying into, and good, I hope so. But I wanted more. You know, I did enjoy the Klingon stuff. You know, I enjoyed, but it just seems like that was just way too easily circumvented in the moment of mania that was the you know, the Pakled Klingon versus the Cerritos. It seemed too convenient. You know, that at that moment, the kid from Lower Decks, the Klingon from Lower Decks, became first officer, and you know, we got to see all of that. In many ways, I would kind of like to have seen them turn on him and not have any type of establishment of the character. Just a, you know, I don't know. I'm spinning a little bit because I'm not really sure what I wanted to see, other than I'm pretty sure what I saw wasn't what I wanted to see. But again, it's very hard for these writers to do any wrong by me, and they wrapped it in so nicely with kind of giving us, this was an interesting way to show us the rest of the quadrant. Quickly show us the rest of the quadrant, or at least the rest of the area of space that the Cerritos kind of occupies. You know, we got the Vulcan vessel, we got the Klingon vessel, we got the Packlids performance coming in. We were introduced to new characters who they could easily spin back in future seasons or episodes to kind of be like, oh my God, that's the Klingon kid that became the commander. Awesome. You know, or there's Talon, who I think would be a fantastic addition to the Cerritos. Because of, you know, that's the type of Vulcan you want, a Vulcan that's not really a Vulcan. You know, we haven't really explored that, a Vulcan that, you know, unless it's like Spock's half-brother from Final Frontier, you know, somebody that's, you know, absolutely pushed their logic away and has embraced emotion. That's not what Talon is. Talon is somebody that, you know, believes that she is still, you know, using her logic and her Vulcan training, but by every definition and standard and observation of the other Vulcans, she is not. She's using instinct and, you know, it feels right and, you know, my gut, and that's not going to fly real well with a ship full of, you know, by the book Bradwood Boimler Vulcans. So that was great. And, you know, I liked seeing the inner dynamics inside the Cerritos. We just had a more of a fleshing out of the Carol and Beckett relationship, that it's going well. And that's all we really needed to do to touch in with that. You know, like, hey, how are Carol and Beckett doing? We got a little, maybe a minute and a half of what they were doing, touched in with them. We know that they're doing really well. That this is probably, from what we've seen or what I've seen so far, this is the best they've been. And again, that could be a setup by these damn writers to be like, oh, hey, they're in a great place. Time to mess that up, or time to kill Carol, which I thought for sure was going to happen at the end of season 1. Jack Ransom continues to evolve into a character that I want to see more of, that I enjoy immensely, that constantly reminds me that there is so much more to him than the appearance of, the first officer narcissist or whatever that we were initially led to believe that he was. He just, with having the cadet go over and, Commander Ransom said you're the number one person, the most organized, and made Brad feel great. And then he looked over and acknowledged that, without any type of, and so Ransom is really growing into his own. And for me, he's becoming a really valuable, really integral part of the Cerritos. Okay. This is, I think, the best way to say this. I think I was expecting something like Crisis Point or No Small Parts. Something that would be emotionally like revelatory or devastating or, really pack a punch. And this one to me, honestly, maybe more than any of the other episodes of the season, the other 8 that I've seen so far, this one provides more context for the story and for the situation that the Cerritos is in, like positionally, if that makes sense, in the timeline, in the political sphere of the quadrant, than any of the others have. This kind of sets the Cerritos up not as a ship of prominence, which she is in her sector. She would be known. That's the Cerritos. Even if you're not in the Federation, would be a recognizable ship at this point. But putting her in a position to be more of a player on the galactic stage is what I think this episode did. It Vulcan engagement, Klingon recognition, helping to drive off the Packlids, which is something the Titan's only been doing at this point. All of these things help to, sing a stronger song of the Cerritos, to, provide another verse to the ballad of the Cerritos that we have. And for that, I like the episode very much. It's just that I wasn't expecting this episode, and I think I had myself spun up towards something like the end of last season. By God, I said it in the middle of the reaction, these writers aren't going to give me what I expect. They're not going to give me what I think I want. They're going to give me what I need. And what I needed and didn't know that I needed, they're positioning the Cerritos in the sector. They're bringing us kind of up to date with everybody, pushing forward, letting us know how certain relationships stand. Even so much as we mentioned Carol and Beckett, but also like Shax and Rutherford, to Anna and Tendi, bringing all that up. Like they're growing and they're becoming more. That Brad doesn't really have that touch tone on the bridge side, but again is considered by the bridge crew to be a very vital member of the Cerritos. In fact, one of the best, if not, as Ransom said, the best person on board as far as being organized. So they kind of said, okay, everybody, we've had a lot of different stories so far in season 2. We need to bring you up to date and get you completely caught up to this moment in time. And the more I watched this episode, the more I thought this is not going to be Crisis Point. We're not going to have some grand revelation at the end. Brad learning that, Carol is Beckett's mom. Not some heartstring pull, Beckett v. Beckett. I feel like I'm being set up in a great way, but I feel like I'm being set up because they literally had everybody appear in this episode. I can't think of anybody bridge crew wise or even kind of like peripherally, Jet. We didn't see Jet, I don't think, but like everybody else had a moment. It's like they brought us up to it. Okay, you were wondering where so-and-so is? Here they are, here they are, here they are. Here's the relationships as they stand, like I mentioned, with all these people. And it seems like they're doing that on purpose. These writers have a very limited amount of time, and this episode can't just be like, hey, let's show Lower Decks for all the different cultures. Talon's definitely coming back, or Talyn. Talyn's definitely coming back. I wouldn't be surprised if she's put on the Cerritos, maybe in a future season. Maybe. At very least, she's going to Starfleet. We'll probably see the Klingon again. But those are periphery. Those are the seeds for future stories. I'm worried about 10, my friends. I'm worried about 10 because this is usually the moment in like a war movie, or like imagine like a classic World War II movie. This is the campfire scene before the big battle, where all the soldiers kind of sit down that maybe are just been put in a fresh company, and they talk about their homes. They talk about their if they have, you know, husbands or wives, if they, you know, kids, and you learn a bunch about them. And then the next day's the war. And the next campfire you see, there are a lot less faces sitting around it. I'm worried in a great way. My friends, I think that's it for now. If you could do me a favor and hit that like button, smash a subscribe, and ringy-ding-ding that bell for notifications, you too will be alerted anytime we go live here on YouTube with any Star Trek Lower Decks, the original series, any sci-fi. We'll let you know. You can join us. And if you'd like those adventures early and in a longer format, link to Patreon's in the description, my friends. But you know what? I think I have just enough time, and I think I'm prepared to watch the season finale right now, my friends. So I'll see you in a little bit. But right now, I'm going to go finish this season, I think, with the Cerritos. My friends, from the lower decks of several different cultures, Klingon, Pakled, Vulcan, and of course, the Cerritos, I offer you a Vulcan roll, and I'll see you soon.